Hello. I decided to turn on the camera and start talking because I really need to um, work on my story, and I haven't recently, so I decided to start talking about it so I would get into the mood about, writing it. So I guess I'll talk about the lineage, the family tree, you could say, of the elements. It's very complicated to explain, so if you don't understand, I get it. But if you do understand, make sure to let me know down below or to the side. I don't really know, like, where. But basically, the way it goes is there are 4 elements. I'm not going to talk about Shadow in the video. I talked about Shadow and his brother in the last video. It's way too complicated. So I'm just going to talk about the major 4 and their children, excluding Shadow. So basically there are 4 elements: earth, air, fire, and water. And they had children. They had a lot of children. But, sorry, but I'm only going to talk about specific ones that are important to the plot of my story and are the most well-known and the most popular and the ones that impacted history the most, or this particular time in history. So Earth had 4 children: winter, spring, summer, and fall. Winter being the oldest and heir to the throne of Earth should anything happen to her. Then there's air. Air had Storm. And Storm's history is a bit rocky. His oldest daughter is Wind, but he also had Thunder and Lightning, and then Dark Lightning. The way it works is Wind's oldest. She's heir to the throne. But Thunder and Lightning are brothers. They're really close. But then Lightning and Dark Lightning are twins, so they're close also. They have this whole big... Their relationship is messy and complicated, and so I think I'll talk about that in another video too. But keeping it short and simple, basically Thunder and Lightning were friends at one point and really close, and then Lightning and Dark Lightning, and then it just bounces back and forth. And Wind is all by herself because she's the oldest. She's the oldest in each of the elements are the ones trained to take over and to how to rule, basically. The others are taught the basics, but they're not really well cared for generally, with a few exceptions, most notably being Shadow, but I'm not going to talk about that. And then there's Fire. Fire had several children that are important. There's Magma, who marries Shadow. There's Lava, who's the oldest. And then there's Mantle and Core, and basically a lot. It's complicated, but the one that's most important is Lava and Magma. Those are the 2 that most come up in the story in this particular time in history. And then Water, her children, they're very spread out. But there's Ocean, is where a lot of... Ocean is the most well-known, I guess you could say, the most obvious form of water. Because Ocean gave birth, and Ocean is like, the ocean. And then there's a kind of form of Storm, kind of. Ocean is Ocean is the oldest. And then Ocean had several children. Ocean's firstborn is Ice. Ocean also had children such as River, Lake. She had Riptide, Wave, that sort of thing. Just anything you can think of when you think of water. But then there's Ice, and Ice gave birth to the Frost twins, which are Layla and Jack Frost. And so that's basically a very simplified version of the tree of life. And each of the elements created the elements that go in their element. Like earth created land animals, water created the animals that go in the water, and then air created the animals that fly. But then what about fire? Fire created the dinosaurs, or dragons. Some people call them dinosaurs, some people call them dragons, some people call them monsters or demons. But it's all very, complicated. I say that a lot. But yeah, there's it's I don't know what to talk about next. Yeah, so the four main characters of the story, they descend from different branches, different elements. Layla is Layla Frost. Her twin brother is Jack Frost, she's very well known. He is very, very well known. He's Jack Frost. Everybody knows him. There's several movies made about him in our age. But basically, she is the heir to the throne of water, eventually. But it's a long line of succession, so it will be a while. And then Cooper is Lava's firstborn son. He will be therefore he will be the heir to Fire's throne. And then Lily is so Lily's a bit more complicated. She is the firstborn daughter, of Wind. But she went missing. She disappeared when she was a baby. So, and the thing is, it's really complicated, but basically she was lost. Wind thought she wasn't there. So she had another child who was going to be her heir. So when Lily turns up, there's a problem. But it's all very complicated in there for several reasons, which I think I'm going to cover in another future episode. This has given me a lot of ideas for future episodes, so which is good. So I'll have motivation to make more videos. But basically, that's the basic plan. That's the basic layout. And then Scraper is son of Shadow, which I've covered before. So it's that there you have a broad picture of the characters. So from now on, when I'll be able to make videos and mention people, you should already know what I'm talking about. Okay, so it's been 8 minutes, so I think I'm going to try to make the videos around 8 minutes, so I'm going to sign off. But thank you for listening if you stayed to the end. Thank you for hearing me out, though I stutter and I'm not very good at talking fluent sentences. But thank you for listening. Have a beautiful time.